Hey guys, what's up? It's IFBB Pro Roxy Beckles here, and today I want to talk to you about the best cardio that you can be doing for your contest prep. Now we have a special guest today, and if you look right over my shoulder here, you'll see Coach Misfit, my cat, and she approves of this message. So one of the things that people ask a lot about is contest prep and cardio and how the two go hand in hand. Now, for a long time, I have been a part of the no cardio crew or doing metabolic circuits as cardio and all that other stuff when it comes to prepping for a contest or, for a show. And the thing about it is that over the last couple of years, the look of the division has changed dramatically. Whereas one with really great genetics could get away with doing as little cardio as possible and still look great and place well on stage, today it's not that simple and it's taking a little bit more work, and that's simply because the look of the divisions, especially for the women, have gotten a lot harder. Figure, for instance, is starting to look a little bit more like women's physique. Women's physique is starting a little bit to look like bodybuilding, and bikini is starting to get very lean as well. So for all of you guys, you might be looking at your programs and saying to yourself, wow, what worked before isn't working now, so what do I do in order to make sure that I get the look that I want for the stage in that place as well, but also preserves my health in the long run? So I want to go ahead and touch on some of that stuff today. One of the first things you want to make sure that you do is definitely give yourself enough time to diet, point blank. This way you're not forced to do tons and tons and hours upon hours of cardio in order to get to the look that you need to get to for the stage. So making sure that you give yourself at the very minimum about 16 weeks to diet. For some people you might need 20 weeks or so, or maybe a little bit longer, to just take things down slowly before you really push into the final leg of your contest prep. But the base of all of this is to make sure that you give yourself enough time to change your body and to do so in a way that is intelligent. The second thing, before we even talk about cardio, is to know that you can never out-train your diet. So your diet needs to be, in par with where you need to be taking your body. You don't want to start off restricting calories right away to a point to whereas you have nowhere to move, and by the end of your contest prep, you're eating like 800 calories a day. Make sure that you spend time reverse dieting, getting your calories up about maintenance or maybe a little bit higher before you start to diet. This is going to save you a lot of heartache, and it's going to make sure that you preserve a lot of muscle as well as you get leaner and as you go closer into your show. Now, when I'm setting up client plans and I'm setting up their program and I'm trying to decide where their cardio is going to be, of course it takes me looking at that individual and deciding what they need to do to bring their best look. So for some of my clients, that might mean starting off with about 20 to maybe even 30 minutes of cardio about 5 days a week on their plan. And I like to establish a base for training. I'm very big on periodized type of training and to do things in a progressive manner. So I'll start off with doing some steady state cardio for that duration and making sure that they keep their heart rates nice and high. So 75, 80, 85% of their max heart rate during that duration will make sure that we're getting a great blast as far as calories is concerned, but more importantly, we're focusing on conditioning the heart and lungs. Remember, if you want to look like an athlete and train like an athlete, you've actually got to be like an athlete. So start thinking about that instead of just how many calories you're burning in the session. What's really great about this is that with the training being the way that it needs to be and making manipulations with the diet in the way that we need to based on biofeedback, I rarely have to change their cardio within the first 2 to 4 weeks that I give a client a plan. So we might even stick to that schedule for about 4 weeks before needing to change anything. Now, what I like to suggest is that before you change the duration or how much longer you're doing your cardio, look to ways that you can increase the intensity. So a lot of times I will leave the duration to be about 20 to 30 minutes depending on that client. Keep it on those 5 days a week that we have it assigned. But instead of adding more time on there, I'm gonna look to see how we can go ahead and push for higher intensities with the cardio training. This is gonna help them to burn more calories in that same amount of time without having to do more. So it's the perfect opportunity to throw in like intervals where you might do 1 minute at a really high sprint pace and then 1 minute where you recover. And you can play around with those segments as you wish. Sometimes I'll even throw in some HIIT training as well, whereas I'll have a client go full out intensity, usually on the treadmill or on the bike for 20 seconds and then take 40 seconds to recover at a slower pace. And we'll do that, repeating those rounds for the duration that is on their plan. Now with HIIT, if you are truly doing HIIT training, you can't really do it for more than about 20 minutes. You will fry your central nervous system. And if you do include HIIT in your training, make sure that you do it with days in between. About 3 days a week is perfect. Let's say if you did it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you have days in between to recover. On those recover days, you can either take an active rest day, or you can take a day off, or you can put some cardio in of a different mode or modality during that time instead. So once again, duration should not trump intensity. Intensity is where you really want to start pushing it. It's only after we have hit maybe a little bit of a plateau and we've kind of pushed the intensity as high as we can with the cardio and the duration that we have, that I will start to look at ways to go ahead and bump up the duration of their cardio. Now, a lot of times I will mix up cardio within the session as well. So there will be some days where my clients will do completely steady state cardio and focus on keeping the heart rate nice at a moderate to high intensity pace. There may be days where they might start off with 10 minutes of HIIT and then maybe do 20 to 25 minutes of high intensity steady state cardio or intervals right after that HIIT training. And there may be days where they might just do intervals for the duration. So you don't have to be locked in one way of doing things. Keep things mixed up in a way to keep it mentally, inspiring for you to do, but to also keep the body, and I hate the word to keep the body guessing, because the body isn't guessing or confused about anything, but just to kind of keep things on its toes so your body doesn't acclimate to things quickly. Now, there may be times during your prep where you might have to split up your cardio and do split training, like maybe in the morning you get up and you might do 40 to 45 minutes in the morning and then come back later on in the evening to go ahead and do your weight training. And that is perfectly fine. In fact, I do that with my clients as well. And sometimes we might start doing that kind of thing around 8 or 9 weeks out, depending on the client and what their body needs. That's not set in stone. But if you are going to separate your training, it's a very smart idea. Now, the way that I look at it is that I would rather have my clients put full intensity into their cardio training and full intensity into their weight training workouts. So that way we are doing the best that we can in the time that we have without overtraining the body. I always like to say to give yourself one full day of rest where you don't do a dang thing to recover, even if you're in a contest prep. That is very important. Now, as I said, this current season that we're in with competing and the look that's being rewarded on stage is requiring athletes to work a little bit harder than they may have done in the past. So whereas with most of my clients a few seasons ago, we could get away with doing about maybe 45 to 60 minutes tops of cardio for the entire day, and now we might have to push it to an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 a day. And that's a lot if you ask me. However, if you decide to play in this sport, you've got to know that there are going to be times where you have to push things and you have to do so intelligently. My advice is to try to keep that amount of volume down to the last couple of weeks. Like if you can just do that for about a 4 to 6 week time period and then slowly start to reverse yourself out, you'll have a much healthier prep and a less likely chance of rebounding or even just causing any kind of metabolic stress on your system when you do things intelligently. If you are finding the need to put that much volume into your cardio training, make sure that you split it up in a way that makes sense. So if I have a client that might need to do an hour and 10 or hour and 15 minutes or even an hour and 20 minutes in a day, where we might do that about 3 days a week to really push that loss along, I'll have them do maybe the bulk of it in the morning. So they'll do their 45 to 50 minutes or so in the morning, and then after their workouts in the evening, I'll tag on the rest. So that's about maybe 15 to 20 minutes after a workout. So there are ways that you can do this and still do it intelligently, and that's what you need to find for yourself. I do not advise doing 2 to 3 hours of cardio a day. I really feel like if you need to push to that amount of cardio, you really need to either look at your diet or give yourself more time to diet, and probably even both. The most important thing is that you are paying attention to your body and that you are doing things in a way that's based off of biofeedback and you're working intelligently. Look guys, this stuff is hard work. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody could do it. And although we are really pushing to an extreme when it comes to contest prep and the look that's required for the stage, it doesn't mean that you have to do it in an irresponsible way. So be smart and work hard as well. I hope that this information helped you out today, clarified a little bit of what you need to be doing when it comes to your cardio training for contest prep. Make sure to stop by my website and sign up for my email list. I'll offer you all kinds of free advice. You can get access to my training and nutrition book where I have a couple workouts, lots of articles, podcasts, and all that stuff to help you to figure out the game of fat loss and contest prep. Also, swing by my website if you're interested in working with me for one-on-one coaching, or you might even be able to join my group coaching program as an option to getting you to your goals. If you're watching this on Facebook, be sure to like my page and click the sign up button for direct access to my newsletter. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Either way, I hope that this video helped you out today and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.